Welcome to the You Can Be Unstoppable podcast. My name is Evelina, your host and certified hypnotherapist. In this podcast, I will share with you how to tap into the power of your subconscious mind. I intend to share with you how learning how to use the power of your subconscious mind can help you to create a successful and abundant life with ease, how to connect with yourself while fostering a healthy relationship with your body and mind. Tapping into the power of the subconscious mind will help you to learn how to manage your emotions, become more resilient and present in all of your relationships. Self-love and self-worth are the keys to the kingdom of success and abundance, to happy and healthy life on your terms. Welcome. Today I want to talk about stories, because stories are a big part of our lives. We keep repeating them, we keep telling them, we love hearing them, and we use stories to reaffirm who we are to ourselves and to others. However, stories also keeps us trapped in a status quo, and they help us to rehearse and relive our past over and over. But they can also help us to create much better lives and businesses and careers and whatever else that we really want and desire. So, what is a story? A story is something that we keep telling, we keep rehearsing, we keep repeating to ourselves and to others about ourselves all the time. Most often we do this very automatically without even thinking about it. We just, sometimes you've got in social circumstances and just without even thinking about it, we're just like, oh yeah, that never works for me, or yeah, I'm just not confident doing this, or yeah, money just never really stick around. And we don't put much attention when we do that, but it's really important because those kind of stories keeps us stuck. You see, we all have that head chatter in our head, all that noise that sometimes we're not even aware how much noise there is, and sometimes it's just a fleeting thought, and most of the time it's a full-blown conversation. And I know that I can have an absolutely full-blown conversation in my head. I had so much noise in my mind, and I practice silence. I practice meditation to calm down the head chatter, and it brings me a huge amount of awareness. But a lot of people avoid silence because they can't face what they might hear. So, you see, there is a huge problem with us keep repeating, telling ourselves those stories, because what we do, we keep telling ourselves what is that we don't want. We keep telling ourselves what's not working. We keep rehearsing what has happened to us in the past, and because something happened there, I can't become confident now, or because I heard over there something, I can have something else. Or because my parents were not wealthy and they had all sorts of kind of stories about money, that means I can't be wealthy now. I say it's a total bullshit, because we can create a better story. We can absolutely have anything that we want. And a lot of the times, those stories are very subconscious, based in our beliefs and values, and sometimes they are conscious. We are fully aware, yet we keep repeating them. And it's worth noticing and saying that a lot of the times, those stories are not ours. We pick them up from others. We pick them up from our parents, from our grandparents, from the school, from the environment, from the church, from the community. from the people that we are surrounded, especially in our early years. Yes, some of them might be ours, but a lot of them are not, and then we create further stories based upon those original stories that we've picked up. So, to give you an example, maybe, perhaps, you heard your parents saying things like, money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe you heard, you need to work hard for money. There is never enough to go around. I know, I heard those stories all my childhood. My mom never said anything else apart. There is never enough money. We are poor. We can't have what we want. You have to suck it up and work hard. She doesn't have the money tree, or she kept saying things like she doesn't have a money making machine, or she's not made of money, or the stories I heard were crazy. So because we heard, and I know I heard that, stories like this, then we create a belief that money are hard to make. And then maybe perhaps you also experience other things as a child or situations, and that led you to create other unhelpful beliefs, like maybe that you're not good enough to be successful or worthy because of experiences or things that were said to you. Maybe you watch your parents working really hard and always struggling for money, but that's not your story, but you made it yours. I know I did. I made all my mom's money story mine, and they sucked. I really had to do some work on a subconscious mind to change those stories. And there's plenty of stories that you might be rehearsing, and they are not very helpful. So, for example, you might say things like, nothing ever works out for me. Well, it probably doesn't, because you keep telling that to yourself. Maybe you say things like, well, I start something, I'm all excited, I'm all in, and then I just lose interest, and I start to procrastinate, and I just stop doing this thing altogether. Or you may be saying, well, no matter how much I earn, there is never enough money to go around. I am very curious. What stories do you keep telling yourself that keep you stuck in your status quo? Are you aware of them? Are you aware of the stories that you keep telling yourself? Because those stories couldn't be further from the truth. But it is yours, and it was mine, internal context of the world. It is your subconscious identity of a person who sees herself as someone who's not worthy to be successful because of X, Y, and Z. But that's not true. You are worthy. You are enough. You are amazing. That's the truth. But you see, our brain's number one job is to keep us alive. And the brain loves familiar, it loves known patterns, ways of behavior, it loves habits, because it knows how to navigate this. And it will seek confirmation of your beliefs and values. So there's something that's called confirmation bias, and it is a brain's tendency, or our tendency, to search for, to give certain interpretation, to favor certain ways of being or thinking, to recall information in such a way that confirms your prior beliefs or values. And what we seek, we will find. So if you seek a confirmation that you are not worthy of being successful, most likely you will find it. If you believe that you are not good enough for a healthy relationship, well, guess what? You will keep attracting unhealthy relationships. So, wouldn't be a better place to work from and start telling yourself a better story? What would be a more supportive story? If you don't like something in your life, something doesn't go your way, change your story. What is more empowering and supportive story that you can start telling yourself. Maybe you just start telling yourself, well, everything always works out for me. I'm amazing, I'm confident, I am powerful, whatever that is that can help you. And as you start to say those new, more empowering stories, you may bump against internal resistance. Some emotions may come up. They may make you feel uncomfortable. And you might want to think like, well, I just don't want to do it because this whole new story, it makes me very uncomfortable in myself. And your mind may try to tell you that all this work is bullshit, that will never work, this is too easy, it has to be a lot more complicated. And if that's the case, then you may want to consider dig a little bit deeper and find the underlying root cause for why you're doing this, for why you've got that belief in the first place. Because I'm telling you, if you're bumping against internal resistance, there is a reason for us. Remember, our brain is there to keep us alive. And change is seen by the brain as dangerous because it's unknown. The mind doesn't know how to navigate it. So the brain will try to protect you by stopping you from introducing change, by changing. And as you change, there's something that's called disintegration anxiety. Because you were changing, you're doing well, you're doing great. It's like, woohoo, I'm changing. And then you feel very uncomfortable because it's like a last resistance, last defense, a last fight that the brain puts up to stop you from changing. Because the brain is like, whoa, this is uncomfortable, I don't like it, we don't know what is going to be on the other side, it's going to be worse, it's going to be harder, it's going to be more work, longer hours, it's terrible. Of stories, I'm telling you, the brain will throw everything at you. And if you bump into that internal resistance and you can't seem to get past it consciously, then subconscious work is a great way to identify those deep-seated beliefs and values and everything that is at the core of you through the subconscious work. Because 95% of who we are, 95% of how we show up every day is subconscious. We are not fully aware of it. And many of our beliefs, values, stories, a lot of who we are, it's like this. If you imagine a computer that's got an operating system, and that's our subconscious mind, and so we got this operating system, we kind of go into our teenagers and we go through 20s and 30s and 40s, and we've never updated the subconscious mind, the operating system, with new beliefs. Because when we got them when we were 5, 4, 6 or 7, it made sense back then. But now we're 50 and we still operate from the original operating system, from the original beliefs and values, which do not support what we're trying to achieve now in our 50s. Well, guess what? It's not going to work because your operating system is way out of date. Yet you're trying to create something new. It's crazy to expect a different result while doing the same thing over and over, knowing full well it's not working. You need to dig deeper. If you bump against internal resistance, if what you're trying to achieve is not working because you keep sabotaging yourself, you keep procrastinating, you keep telling yourself unhelpful stories that this will never work out for you, or whatever the story is for you. If you are someone who would like to get down to business and do some work, if you are someone who's fed up with your own bullshit like I was, because I was well fed up with my own crap, I said enough is enough. The common denominator in all the crap that's happening in my life is me. I'm done spinning my wheels and going round in circles. I need to do something. And that meant having a really long, hard look at myself. Because I was the common denominator in all the troubles and all the things that were happening in my life. And if you are someone who's ready to having a hard, long look at who you are on a subconscious level and change the operating system, change the beliefs and values, everything that it's not working for you, then get in touch because, girl, I can help you. Thank you for listening. If you found value in this podcast, I would like to ask you to leave a positive review explaining how this episode helped you to improve your life. I ask you to do this because this will help other people to improve their lives as well. Share and spread the love all around you. Raise your vibrations to improve your life. If you would like more transformational content like this, connect with me on Instagram. You can find a link in the description of this podcast, and I'll see you over in the next episode.